her story. This is her story. Be bold, be brave, be beautiful. This is her story. Her story. This is her story. Be bold, be brave, be beautiful. This is her story. Every
Welcome back to another episode of Hashtag Her Chosen Story. I am your host, Clivia Allen, and today we have the pleasure of interviewing a queen that I was introduced to last month. I'm going to read her bio because I don't want to delay her coming on this stage and us getting to know her. So excited to have her, founder and CEO of Face Candy Studio, a luxury beauty and lifestyle brand centered on femininity, confidence, and elevated experiences. Her name is Kanika. Let's start there. Kanika expanded the business beyond New York City area to include South Florida, Toronto, Trinidad and Tobago, and other Caribbean countries. Kanika competed in the Miss Corporate America, where I met her. That was a pageant here in Orlando, Florida, and she represented Miss Corporate America, New York Metro. Her current projects include working on a community service initiative to raise awareness and funds for women who are victors, not victims, of female-related cancers beyond breast cancer. Some women are challenged with feeling beautiful, feminine, and confident in their skin during their everyday lives, and that is the truth. Adding the challenge of cancer only compounds that uncertainty and loss of identity. Without any further ado, please help me welcome, and I have some, let me see if this is going to work here. Without any further ado, please help me welcome Kanika to the stage.
Thank you. Thank you. What an introduction. Thank you so much.
You are most welcome. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Absolutely.
Yes, on hashtag A Chosen Story. And even in your bio, meeting you at Miss Corporate America. That was my first time being at such an event on such a big scale. I've even hosted little things with the children in church, and we did a little fashion show and then they changed. But this was like the real thing. So although I read your bio, please tell the people who you are, where you're from, and we'll get into some questions.
Absolutely. So, you did an amazing job introducing me. So how do I follow up with that? But yes, I am Kanika Bollier. I'm the founder and CEO of Face Candy Studio. We are a luxury beauty and lifestyle brand centered around femininity and inspiring women to consider not sacrificing their self-care in the name of duty, in the name of responsibility.
Yes.
And the brand, which grew from a carnival makeup service, has evolved into being a vehicle for women to show up in their most feminine beautiful self here in New York, in South Florida, in Toronto, in Trinidad and Tobago, because we have two separate carnivals over there, and across other countries in the Caribbean.
I love that. And it's so needed. Us as women, one, makeup. Right now I don't even have on foundation, right?
Really?
I don't. You have some women that they don't leave home without it. We have so many insecurities. Like I have a few bumps here and there, and I know why they're coming out. But to know that we can understand the impact makeup can help with, whether it's showing up for work, whether it's showing up for a date, whether it's just showing up for yourself, right? And again, we're going to dive into the question, but why makeup? Where did this all stem from?
Well, makeup, it actually fell into my lap. I was never that young girl who grew up saying, I want to be a makeup artist when I grew up.
Right.
I don't know if it was because I was raised in a household that didn't necessarily value what a makeup artist can bring to the world and the transformation that one can bring to his or her clients. But that wasn't me. Nonetheless, it fell into my lap. How, you may ask? Literally, people said they liked the way I did my makeup. They
Mm.
liked the way I did my makeup. And after I finished all of my professional educational training to
Mhm.
satisfy my parents and my
Right.
family and make, because you understand, right? You
Yes.
understand. And I know people listening going to understand that they can relate.
Exactly.
And I always played mass. I always played mass. When I graduated from um, college, I
Mhm.
went back to Trinidad and played mass for the first time.
Okay.
And so that was my first experience playing mass as an adult on my own coin.
Right.
But then, falling into makeup, it
Mhm.
was combining the two worlds. It was
Yes.
combining the two worlds because I saw there was a need
Yes.
of providing makeup services for the masqueraders and doing something that I've been told over and over and over that I'm good at.
I love
So
that. I
that's where
love
I
that.
went. Yeah.
Yeah, and seeing from the growth. So you're currently in New York, and now this brand, this Face Candy Studio, has grown from New York to South Florida, like you just mentioned, Toronto, Trinidad and Tobago, and beyond. So you just mentioned what inspired this luxury beauty brand and the confidence and the elevation that you have experienced as an entrepreneur. What has been the biggest lesson? So first, let's how long has it been since you've been in business?
Mhm.
And since then, what has been the biggest lesson you've learned about building and expanding? Because this is not for the weak. It's not for the weak. So
I,
how has that been for you?
well, I've been in business for over 12 years. I've
Okay.
been in business over 12 years. And sometimes to me, I can't even believe that I've been in business for that long.
Right.
But for someone else, it may seem like that's just a blip in
Yes.
the entrepreneurial world, in the
Yeah.
business world. But I've been in business for over 12 years. And I, one of the biggest lessons that I've learned in this journey is being ready to show up, being ready to be authentic and being ready to show up.
Mhm.
That what you think that there's always going to be a problem. There
Right.
is always going to be a problem. But
Mhm.
are you prepared to deal with the problem
Right.
that is going to be presented to you?
Yeah.
And when I was at the beginning, the infancy of building
Mhm.
this business, I
Mhm.
used to view problems as a problem,
Right.
right? Like you don't want to do anything wrong. You don't want to make mistakes. But a
Right.
problem, I've re-engineered it and I see it as okay, it's a new problem. That means I
Right.
have grown, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Think about when you're in school, when
Mhm.
you're in kindergarten, the
Mhm.
problems that you face as a 5-year-old is holding your bladder so you
Right.
don't pee yourself, right?
What
Or
a
it's
problem for real.
know, it's like, how can I not pee myself?
Right.
Or knowing my shapes and my colors. And
Mhm.
your teacher is the one who's going to decide if you have mastered those problems for you to move
Right.
on to the next level. But
Yes.
at the next grade, guess what? You're going to get new problems.
Yes.
You're going to
Yes.
get new problems. And so I always see it as if now I'm facing a new problem, that
Mhm.
means I have grown in business. And if I'm still facing the same problem, that means I haven't figured it out. So that
Right.
has been the biggest lesson that I have learned
Yeah.
in entrepreneurship. There
I
will
love
always be problems. You
that.
might
Yeah.
as well embrace it
Exactly. And it's
and
really
just
how you
roll with
handle
it.
it as well. Again, you have problems at every level, like you said, from a 5-year old to our big age now. And
Yeah.
it's really how you handle it. And yeah, it's really how you do it.
Absolutely. And you know what? The problems are not exclusive to the type of industry you have, right?
Exactly.
Some
Exactly.
people may think, "Oh, I'm going to have a brick and mortar business." Then and you may have problems of getting customers into your brick and mortar,
Mhm.
providing enough services because you have overhead. So
Right.
some people say, "I'm not going to have a brick and mortar. I'm going to have an online business." But
Mhm.
now the problem that an online only business may face is showing up online. In
Right.
this day of social media, there are plenty people who don't want to show up online, but
Exactly.
you want to have a business. That's like
Exactly.
oil and water. It doesn't work. But
Exactly.
then you may have another person who's like, well, I'm not going to sell services or I'm not going to sell physical products. I'm going
Mhm.
to sell digital products.
Mhm.
Okay, well, is your digital product really solving a problem for your community, there's
Right.
always a problem that you have
Yeah.
to figure out. So
Yeah.
it's like across the board.
Yeah. It's inevitable for sure, especially as
Absolutely.
business owners. And I mean, you have it not just one place, but multiple locations. So you're talking big problems with, because people are people, and we know sometimes it's hard, right? It's
Yeah.
hard. But
Oh
do
my.
you believe that femininity is not one size fit all? What does
Mhm.
that mean to you? And why is it important for women to define it for themselves? Because again, what that might mean for me might be different for you, right? And some people, again, I love when, even with reading the bio, the focus on those that beyond breast cancer, because we know there's different levels. And a few years ago, I featured a young lady where her and her mom, they both ended up with breast cancer at the same time,
Mm.
and whether it's the loss of hair. But when I tell you these two women, I believe they were Grenadian, beautiful women. And, again, some people lose that femininity. Oh, I don't have hair, or I don't have this anymore. What does that look like to you?
I Femininity to
I'm
me.
sorry, Kanika. And why breast cancer? Why cancer? Why that niche?
Okay, so femininity to me, it literally is not a one size fits all.
Right.
It can be, for you, it may be how you walk. For
Mm-hmm.
for me, it may be how I talk. I
Right.
want everyone to understand who hears my voice that you have to define it for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because in a society where there are people who will make you feel a certain kind of way,
Mm-hmm.
and you feel like that is the standard and that is the norm, I
Mm-hmm.
want you to take back control and
Right.
say, this is what I am defining for myself. For one
Exactly.
woman, you were at the Miss Corporate America
Mm-hmm.
competition.
Mm-hmm.
There was a queen who had a clean shaven head,
Yes.
no hair, but
Yes.
she spoke so eloquently. She was so
Yes.
fluent. She was so
Yes.
pleasant to be around.
Yes.
She was memorable. You
Yes.
understand? She was memorable. But for
Mm-hmm.
some people out in this world, they
Mm-hmm.
may not consider her feminine. They may not consider
Right.
her beautiful. And
Right.
so I always hone in on, you define it for yourself. If you want to wear locks, wear your locks. You want to shave your hair off, shave your hair off. If
Mm-hmm.
femininity to you is having clean skin with
Mm-hmm.
absolutely no makeup, then
Right.
by all means, then
Right.
you are embodying what I always propose as what femininity is. Because
Yes.
you have to define it for yourself. Because once you know what is for you,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter what is going on outside around you, they can't shake you up.
Exactly.
You understand? They
Exactly.
can't shake you up. So
Yeah.
to answer your second part, why cancer?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anybody else is on this tip, finding that cancer has become such a prevalent issue in our everyday.
Yes.
There are people who I find are doing everything that is told to be right,
Right.
and they are still coming out and saying,
Diagnosed with. Yeah.
getting this diagnosis. So
Mm-hmm.
there's something to say about it. And
Yes.
we talk till our face is blue
Mm-hmm.
about breast cancer, but
Mm-hmm.
there are other cancers that affect women
Oh
that
yeah.
is not only breast cancer, right?
Exactly.
Like, I have family members who had uterine cancer. I
I have.
know women who had fallopian cancer,
Yes.
and I throw leukemia in there only because I knew women who they didn't suffer from breast cancer. They
It was
had
something else.
leukemia.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
understand? And
Mm-hmm.
so for me, when we were, meeting of the minds
Mm-hmm.
of what initiative we want to have and support. It
Mm-hmm.
was breast cancer and other
Yeah.
female related
Yes.
cancers. We want
That's
all
important.
of the women who are affected by this ugly disease to
Mm-hmm.
feel welcome. We want
Yeah.
all women who are affected by this to feel like they could come and be with us, and we
Yeah.
will support you, because at the end of the day, what it comes down to is that women, not only are we faced with the responsibility of carrying the weight and
Mm-hmm.
being the emotionally stable ones, for the most part, right? Like,
Right.
for the most part,
Yes.
we're the responsible ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're the primary caretakers, we're the default parents, we're the ones who's taking care of our elderly parents when they get there, regardless of whether you have brothers or you have other
Right.
siblings or whoever. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
It's like now to add cancer on top of it. I
Right.
don't want you who just got a diagnosis of uterine cancer
Hmm.
or you just got a diagnosis of fallopian cancer
Hmm.
or whatever
Yeah.
to say, you know what, I feel less beautiful because at the end of the day, that is what distinguishes us from our male counterparts.
It's so
We
true.
could go in all day, every day about who gender, this, that, and the next. Let me tell you something. My husband does not have a uterus.
Right.
Yeah. So he can't do what I do.
Yeah.
You feel me? So I want
Exactly.
all those women
I love that.
to feel seen. And
Yeah.
so that's what we are.
It's so important because I mean you mentioned it. There's so many other we focus on breast cancer, yes, but there's so many other things that we go through, right?
Yeah.
And what you hit it home. I have a cousin in Trinidad. We didn't know, and our grandfather passed in 2022, and we had a Zoom to kind of reconnect. And I saw her with no hair. I saw her with no hair on social media. But I was like, nice haircut. She was like, girl, listen, ain't no haircut. My hair fell out because I was sick. And
You
we
see?
spoke afterwards, and she was like, she had uterine cancer and she had to go through chemotherapy and all the things. And she even asked me just recent, she's thankfully she had to do some other things where she doesn't have children. And due to that, she can no longer have children.
You
Right. But
see?
now her hair's growing back. And she asked me, she said, how do you think I look with locks? I said, I think you look very beautiful. Right. Because then we have to figure it out. How can I feel feminine again? Now I don't have the long hair that I had before. I had a friend, unfortunately, passed away last year with stomach cancer. I mean, this lady had body, and with stomach cancer, she couldn't eat. So she lost a ton of weight, and again, she passed away in April. But even so, and it's so I went to see her the day before she passed. Her eyebrows were done. And they normally say the last thing to go is your hearing. So I held her hand and I said, Queen, you look good. I was like, you're leaving with a bang. I was like, your eyebrows are still good. And it was just a beautiful thing. So again, we lose ourselves in these sicknesses. But I'm really glad that you guys are having this initiative so women can feel beautiful in spite of their situation, in spite of whatever that diagnosis is, and they have a community at Face Candy that they can get that support. So that's really lovely what you guys
Exactly. And then also, you know, just to add this piece too,
do.
because the services that we initially started off with, providing beauty services for the masqueraders at the carnival,
Hmm.
it's a very hyper feminine event,
Right,
right? And
right.
you have a woman who comes in and she has a diagnosis of breast cancer. She has to figure out her body, what she's doing. And
Hmm.
you have some individuals who are in the scene who's telling you and me
Hmm.
what's beautiful. No,
Right.
no, 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 no. Don't
Yeah.
let nobody tell you who's beautiful. So it's just
Hmm.
kind of like, listen, right now I am blessed that I have not been diagnosed with that. But I
Hmm.
stand in camaraderie with my sisters because there are women who have come to our events in Trinidad. I
Hmm.
met a woman in Toronto. I've
Hmm.
met a woman down in South Florida, and
Yeah.
they have shared that with me because, we're like their little therapists. We're like
Yes.
their
Yes.
therapists. They tell us
Yes.
people but they
Yeah.
also confide in us. And that is the biggest honor that we have. And
Mm.
it's like the two don't have to be so separated. You can
Right.
be here and you have a place here.
I love that. I love that so much, so much, so much. All
Yeah.
right. So many women facing cancer struggle, as we said, with confidence and identity. How can beauty, self care, and community help them rediscover? And I think we kind of answer that. Help them
Yeah.
discover themselves beyond the diagnosis. One of the questions I'm gonna jump in here is: are there specific brands that you use? Um, like what type of products according to the skin type? What does that look like? Because I do, as we're talking, I do have a friend that have a makeup line. So I want to see if I can connect you guys. She's from St. Vincent, and I know St. Vincent have their carnival, I believe, in, I
It
think,
passed. It just passed the ending
July,
of
right?
June.
End of June. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I want to connect you guys together because I think that what she has, I don't know if the products are vegan. They might be vegan, but what kind of products do you use on your clients?
So I use a variety of products. I
Okay.
am a believer that if I use it on my skin, then I can use it on your skin.
Right.
Unless there is something specific that when I apply it onto your skin, I see it doesn't react well, like it
Mhm.
just doesn't give it the body yaddy that
Yes,
I'm trying
yes,
to
yes.
get for the look,
Yes.
then I would adjust what it is that I'm doing. But I use all of the brands. I use Fenty, I use MAC, I use Juvia's Place, I use
Right.
Blacktobian, Temp2, um, what's that lady? Danessa Merrick. Like I
Mm-hmm.
use a variety of them because I haven't found one line of beauty. And of course, Face Candy Studio Beauty, because we have our
You
lip
have
line that we have out available
your
online on our site.
I
But
like
I
that.
haven't found one brand
Mhm.
that does everything that I want to do. So it's
Okay, how
like,
Face Candy gonna do it? You're going to create what work? Because I mean, looking at your face right now, beautiful.
thank
So we
you.
started off with lip gloss, and then we expand from there. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah,
So excited for
from
that.
your mouth to God's
There
ears,
you go.
because it's something that I pray about. I
Hmm.
pray about, and I'm like, if I am going to go this route, I
Hmm.
want to do it well. I
Yeah.
want to come out with a bang, and
Yes.
I want to just really make my mark
Yeah.
in the color beauty industry.
Yeah.
So,
I love that.
from your mouth to God's ears.
Yes, and I mean, even here at Chosen 31, what we do is really supporting women, and we spoke prior um earlier in July, and one of the things is supporting, right? So even as this episode goes out, there might be sponsors looking for a brand like yours, like, oh my gosh, we've been looking for a company like this. How can we support? We also have a magazine, so we're going to feature you guys in the magazine. You never know who's going to read those pages. So
Absolutely.
I know you're ready. So get ready.
Just say the word. Say the word. Say the word.
Yes,
Yes,
I'm
yes.
so excited for you. You often encourage women to prioritize self care, whether that's carnival or something else that brings them joy. Why do you think self care is essential, especially for women who spend so much time caring for others? Because you mentioned we're the parent, we're the wife, we're the caregiver. We're connected to this young lady. Her company's Della Dawn Life Coaching, and she focused on the caregivers because we tend to forget about ourselves, right? Outside of Carnival, are there any? And I know you recently had an event. What else do you guys offer, or resources, or how can people? And I've been putting up um, your tag here, Face Candy Studio. But how else can women know that they should prioritize self care?
The minute that you start to not feel like yourself, I'm talking about if you start to see you're struggling with acne, or whether you've always dealt with acne, you
Hmm.
start having stomach issues, you start having sleepless nights, you start feeling pain in your body, or
Hmm.
you start finding that you're bickering with your spouse, or you're not getting through to your children,
Hmm.
there is something wrong. And
Right.
you are the center of the experience that you are going to have. And
Yes.
so I always compare it to what they tell you when you're on a plane. If
Hmm.
you are traveling with children, or you're traveling with someone who cannot take care of themselves,
Yes.
you put on your life mask first. Because
Yes.
I'm telling you right now, if you were to end up in the hospital right now,
Hmm.
what's going to happen to those babies?
Right.
What's going to happen to your mother who's depending on you to take care of her? What's going to happen to the business? Whatever it is.
Yeah.
So self care may be something as simple as I'm going to go for a walk. I'm
Exactly.
going to watch the movie, even if it's just 30 minutes once a week.
Yes.
I'm going to take time with my Bible. I'm going to journal. I'm
Yes.
going to drink the water, go outside. It's
Yes.
summertime here in New York. I'm going to go outside and enjoy all this vitamin D that I can get, because I know very well come September 30th, it's going to be dark and cold.
Not
Okay?
only that, the day after Labor Day.
Yeah. Okay? I'm giving them a little extra. Giving
No
them a
extra.
little extra here.
It's so true. It's so true. And it's a little thing. Sometimes we overthink what self care is, but it's sometimes, like you said, just taking that walk, whether it's 15 minutes, whether it's just sitting and watering your plants, just doing something where
Yeah.
you prioritize yourself. So that's very important for them to hear, or for us to hear. Because I know you're speaking to me too.
All of us. I'm
Yeah.
talking to myself too, because I'm talking here, but this is not something that I've been able to do like all the time. I've had to practice this. I
Right.
literally have to
And these
tell
are young
myself,
ones.
slow down.
Right.
Like, oh, you're not feeling well. Something is off. And only when you take care of yourself will you start to notice those little signs.
Mm-hmm.
Will you start to be like, that's weird.
Right.
My hair is thinning.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
Right.
I'm not sleeping as well as I used to.
Yeah.
And that may be an indicator that something else is wrong. Because
Exactly.
how many times, not to go back to the whole cancer, But how many times do certain things go unnoticed?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're ignoring the sleep. You're thinking that, oh, I'm going to work, and I'm
Right.
going to operate on 2 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm good. I can operate on 2 hours of sleep. Oh,
Right.
yeah, my child is good, but you're talking to your child rough.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, you
Right.
understand there's other
Yeah.
things. And sometimes when we slow down and we take care of ourselves,
Yeah. And we listen
then
to
you
the
can
body.
start to see when things are off, when
Yeah.
your compass is off.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So good. So good. So what advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs? Again, you've been in the game for 12 plus years. So, what advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs and women who are trying to build a business, make an impact, and remain true to themselves? Because if you're not true to yourself first, like you were just saying, if you don't prioritize yourself, you won't be able to pour out because then you'll be pouring from an empty cup or a half full cup or however you want to see it. So, what advice would you give?
My number one advice would be to prepare for the success that you are asking for.
Yeah. Mm.
No one told me that growing when I started business. And honestly, I don't even know if I would have listened, if I would have understood what that meant. But
Mm-hmm.
this is what it means, as simply as possible. If you are asking for, let's say you're an aspiring makeup artist,
Mm-hmm.
hairstylist, nail technician, massage therapist, IV infusion
Mm-hmm.
technician,
Right.
and you are asking God, the man upstairs, whatever you believe in, I believe in God,
Mm-hmm.
to bring you the client. Bring me the clients. But then when the clients come, you don't have your kit. You don't even know how to apply the makeup.
Yes.
You don't even have the license to do the IV infusion. What
Mm-hmm.
good is having the clients? Prepare for the success that you are asking for,
Mm-hmm.
because preparation prevents piss poor performance.
Yes.
But you prepare for what you want so you don't have to get ready when the
Exactly. Be ready.
opportunity presents itself. And it doesn't matter what you are asking for. If you're asking God to bless you with a 6-figure year, you better prepare
You
for
have
a
the
6-figure
capacity.
year.
Exactly. Exactly.
Reverse engineer it. How much
Mhm.
is 100 is a how much, excuse me, is 100,000 a year? How much
Exactly.
money is that a month? How much
Mm-hmm.
money is that a week? How much
Right.
money is that a day?
Exactly.
And then when you have that number, you should know that number like you know your birthday, like you know your age, like know
Mhm.
your social security number, because
Yes.
you have a focus. You
Exactly.
have a focus. And once you have that number, you have to tell yourself, I am going to provide 10 times as much value
Yeah.
as what I'm asking for a day.
So good. Yeah.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
That is the number one thing. There are a dime a dozen makeup artists out there. There are a dime a dozen uh hairstylists,
Mm-hmm. All the things. Yeah.
all the things. But
Mm-hmm.
are you ready for the success you are asking for?
Yeah.
Are you providing 10 times as much value as what you're asking God for? Because you know what he's saying? He's looking at you right now and saying, girlfriend, you want all this money, but
Right.
when I gave you $100, you
Yeah.
didn't manage it well.
Have you
So
been stewarding what I gave you? Yeah. Exactly.
you understand. You
Mm-hmm.
understand. So why would I give you $1,000, let
Mm-hmm.
alone 100,000? You're
Exactly.
gonna fumble it, and then
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna be mad at me saying, God, send me 100, but I did. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? So many times we sit down there and we're mad at the man upstairs. You're mad at your mother because they love you, they're like, listen, you're not ready for that.
Yeah.
But I promise you, if you get ready for the success you're wanting,
Mm-hmm.
the opportunity will present itself. And
Yeah.
all you will have to do is just show up,
Yeah.
step in, and show out.
With
Like
confidence. I
straight
love
up.
it. Yes, I love it, Kanika. You are wonderful. So wonderful. And I'm so excited. This was really good. Again, I look forward to all the things. We're going to stay in touch. Again, you're going to be featured in our Chosen 31 magazine. I'm going to connect you with a
Love
couple
it.
of people because we got to get this word out about Face Candy Studio and all the things you're doing, even in the places that you're located. I definitely want to make sure the connections I have that you are also linked to them. And that's what community is about.
Absolutely.
Before we close out, I'm going to play a quick game. I call it What You Heard. So I'm going to say a word, and I didn't prepare you, but you're always ready. Always ready. So I'll say a word, and you fill in the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
All right. Carnival.
Beautiful.
Pink.
Face candy.
Mass.
Culture.
Mm, I need one more. Let's see. Makeup.
Self-expression.
There you go. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. See, she's always ready, guys. Kanika, this was great. Thank you so much for being our guest. And I look forward again to all the things that God have in store for you. I'm excited. I'm so glad that we met again. It's all about showing up, and I showed up, and here we are today, connecting and letting the world know that Face Candy's out there for a purpose.
Here we are. Absolutely. Thank you so, so much for having
You're
me.
welcome.
Oh, I just one thing I want to share with everybody. Like,
Yes.
listen, anything that you want to do, you can do it. You can be at the table. You just have to be willing to step into the rooms and show up. If
Yes.
there's no space for you at the table, what do they always say? You create your own table. Stay beautiful and stay connected. Stay connected.
Thank you so much, Queen. All right. That was so beautiful. So, so beautiful. Thank you so much, Kanika, again for joining us on hashtag Her Chosen Story to be a guest on our show and to learn more on how you can contribute to help expand this. I call it a ministry. This ministry, please feel free to email us, comment on the bottom of this video. I will put up Kanika's tag one more time. You can stay in contact with her. Face Candy Studio. Look forward to article in our September feature of Chosen 31 magazine. Remember, if you didn't hear anything else, remember you're chosen for such a time as this. Remember to stay bold, beautiful, and keep doing the thing. Keep doing the thing. We again thank you so much, Kanika, for being our guest, and we look forward to your success. Thank you.